And welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for sticking with us. Tukey here, joined, of course, by my broadcast partner. It is Sin. We are back again for yet another season. This is the opening broadcast of the winter season here for ECL 22. Of course, a part of that brand new format. The two different seasons, one grand champion to be crowned a little bit later on this year. And of course, you see them above our head. A big shout out to our sponsors for helping make this season happen. Of course, Xbill, our good friends at Wilhelm, Kovalon Lakritzy, and ST Hockey. Sin, our first broadcast series of the season is in the books, a 1-1 split between FBK and Granite, and now we move on to a very, very interesting matchup, to say the least, as we'll get a look at the standings. Not sure if these were updated or if they are still our preview standings, and they are updated, but of course in our preview standings, HAVU projected third by our captain's vote, and GOONS in fourth. But again, you get a look there, and of course, who would have thought? Frölunda, of course, the former Philadelphia, off to a perfect start, 2-0. And again, Djurgården Hockey picking up a win in their first game. Still waiting to hear what the conclusion was to that one. May have missed it. And there we go. It was YMCA winning in overtime. But still, a 1-1 split for Djurgården as well. Not too bad for the team that was projected to finish in 16th.
No, yeah, absolutely not. And I love the addition of having the goals for, goals against on screen. Gives everyone out there kind of, a better idea of how these teams are performing with the offense versus defense. That goal ratio can be so, so important here, especially for all these teams. And we're kind of getting an outlook here. You gotta expect Frölunda to, be doing what they're doing. But this matchup here, HAVU and GOONS, I mean, the implications here are absolutely massive. GOONS, that team on the rise, and HAVU Gaming in the last season finishing lower than they have in, I think, the previous, 4 seasons, I want to say. Just, not exactly where they'd want to end up.
So again, it is week 1, match day 1 of this 30-game regular season. Of course, each team plays each other twice. And of course, we are just about ready for the start. HAVU and GOONS. Let's take a look at the team lineups here. And Sim, we'll start off by looking at that HAVU squad, as the left wing side is where we're really going to focus on here. But it is Wiegelsson next to Dominointi and the captain of the team, Flyer Kungen. The defense, no surprise, Nasustelia and Villikun are back, and Hansalino will get the start. Of course, he and Sibelius were both very, very strong last season. Hansu had an 847 in, I do believe, 17 of their games, or 16 of their games, excuse me. And Sibe had an 860. So two of the best goaltenders that this Elite League has to offer, that HAVU have at their disposal. But for Villikun, being back in the lineup, he sat out last year for ECL Season 12, but of course known for being on HAVU, so he's back in the fold. And then that big change is Wiegelsson on that left wing. Now, he had 45 points in 28 games with the previous iteration of the Sawo represented team. But Sin, this is their third straight season with a change at left wing. Of course, not that long ago, it was Powanzo, and then it was Hansalino moving up. And again, they fell short in their championship aspirations. They go back to Powanzo, and now he's out again in favor of Wiegelsson, and it just makes you wonder, is he going to be that right fit to push HAVU back to the top of this division?
Yeah, HAVU's kind of been in a bit of limbo here in these past couple seasons. We've seen their sort of famed style of this very, grindy defensive kind of play just really sort of be getting exploited. Teams learned how to play against it, and HAVU, not, historically not really a team to like to deviate from their system. And perhaps they're going to have to do that a bit this season, or they found the right fit where they can absolutely dominate with the system that they want to play. Either way, we're going to get a look at it here as they take on GOONS.
Well, you mentioned them. Let's talk about them. We have GOONS, of course, left-hand side, last year's Rookie of the Year. Piku Roger is back for his sophomore attempt. He had 57 points in 30 games last year, centered by the captain, Kriketsi, who had over 50 points in 30 games as well last year, and one of their new additions in Leitinen, who replaces Jurgeli on that right-hand side. Now, Jurgeli had 53 points last year as well. He's moved on to IQ. Leitinen was over a point per game for IQ last season. So really, it was more of a swap. It was Leitinen's rookie campaign. So quite a bit of pressure for him up front. But the spotlight's not necessarily on him in terms of the new acquisition because we get to the defense, and of course, we love pointing him out. The young superstar here in this league, Viba, of course, always makes us feel old. You see 2008 in the name, and yeah, that's a birth year. We're old. We're very, very old. He was phenomenal in his rookie year last year, 21 points in a full season, but he is alongside one of the premier defenders in all of competitive sixes. I don't care what community or scene or what part of the globe you're on. Jay Toro is an elite defender, but Sin, this is his third team in 3 seasons. He, of course, left the former Philadelphia for HAVU last year and now leaves HAVU to join GOONS. Without a doubt, our focused upon player this season for GOONS, and especially in this matchup as he takes on his former team to kick things off.
Yeah, not only that, playing the opposite side that we've always seen him on. He's always been that left defenseman. He's now playing that right-hand side opposite of Viba. I'm really curious to see how he'll handle that adjustment. I mean, a player as good as him shouldn't really be an issue, and I'm kind of curious to see. They're both no problem jumping into the play. I'd like to see. Obviously, I'm excited to see how Viba's sort of two-way game has improved. There has been some things to be desired on the defensive end of things, but as that young kind of player, it's to be expected at times. So I'm curious to see how they work as a pairing. If they might even like almost look like wingers at time in the fact that they can just like switch back and forth, side to side. Sometimes you don't want to see that as much on the defensive end when it comes to stick positioning, etc., so forth. But I'm sure they're both comfortable. I mean, at least Jay Toro is probably playing on both of these sides. So that's really what I'm looking for, to see Jay Toro on that right hand side and what he adds to this Goon squad, who is kind of my dark horse pick here for this season. A team that came in and made waves last season. Now adding Jay Toro to that roster, an immense amount of experience to bring to the table.
Is it a fair comparison to say Goons are where H-Reds were just a few short seasons ago, where you can see that potential? It's just a matter of whether or not they'll put it all together.
Absolutely. I mean, it almost kind of mirrors them. We had, Nikki Dangles, the new superstar who came up now. He is what you can almost consider a veteran superstar now, especially with a championship under his belt. You have Piku Roger and Viba now, the new up-and-comers. Piku Roger, that rookie of the year, looked phenomenal at times. Goons, definitely fell short there in the playoffs, but what a chance for them this season to get back to where they want, learn a lot more, and once again, make an impact on the top level.
Worth noting as well, Finn Kona between the pipes, one of the more experienced goalies in the elite division. Gonna look to have a bit of a bounce back season, just a 781 save percentage last year in a full 30 game campaign. Obviously, the closer to that 800 mark you can get, although we talked about the goaltending of HAVU, a team save percentage of over an 850. So honestly, the standard for goaltenders starting to be raised a little bit, but I mean, there are those subtle differences, obviously. Like we're talking about last season taking place towards the end of NHL 21. We are now on NHL 22, and obviously, certain things within the gameplay change. A lot stays the same, but a certain couple of aspects of the game. Obviously, the big difference being the X factors at this point and the abilities, and I'm intrigued to see what difference that makes, particularly for the goaltenders this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of been always up in the air. People, figuring out how they were going to impact things, but we saw a lot of it coming into play. I feel like, especially in that last series, Afe, picking the in close ability, which favors his style of play immensely. We saw some guys with elite edges, which, as we know, especially here in the Euro side of things, the puck possession game, the agility with the skating, the spinoramas that we like to see, the L skating, very very heavy. So yeah, to seeing how it works for goaltenders as well might be a bit more of an adjustment process as we adjust to this new rendition. And I'm sure people are still kind of adjusting. The meta is still kind of forming, even though it is pretty set in stone right there. As this game kind of continues on, we often see the meta evolve, and I'm looking forward to seeing that between the winter and the summer seasons.
Absolutely. Worth noting, of course, as well, we talked about Sid and I's schedule this season. We will be here every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But let's not forget our pro division getting a little bit more of a spotlight this season beyond just the finals. Of course, week 1 has begun for them. Tomorrow's broadcast, Dynastia and Boomers, Penta, and Deadly Phantoms going head to head. King Lime and our good buddy Tymo will be on the call there. So, of course, make sure to support that pro division as you get a look at some of the teams that could find themselves in the elite division next season. Of course, the same start time, 1945 CET. Again, that's about 1:45 p.m. Eastern for those of you here on the North American side of things. So again, our pro division getting a little bit more of a spotlight this season, since it's only fair. Of course, we've had the privilege of covering some of those championship finals from some of our lower divisions in the past. And, just because it's not the elite division doesn't mean that you won't see some top-notch and entertaining gameplay.
Absolutely, and I mean, how many teams have come from pro and then entered elite, and how good is it for now the audience to be able to see them rising up? They don't have to tune into an individual stream; they can see it right here on NHL Gamer as these teams, sort of make waves. You can get an idea of who might be making an appearance in elite in the future. I think it just adds so much more dimensions to an already incredible experience here at NHL Gamer, and definitely looking forward to tuning into that broadcast myself on Tuesday.
Especially too with the way the transfers are. You might not see some teams come up, but you might see those next couple of rookies that get plucked from those lower divisions. And you might just have that heads up to say, hey, I'm picking this guy. Start of the season. This is my guy for rookie of the year. Then you can brag about it once you end up being right. Or you can never mention it again if you end up being wrong. And it's okay because we won't judge you. We won't judge you. We are just about ready to go for puck drop here. Again, game 1 of 2, the regular season matchup between HAVU and GOONS. And of course, a friendly reminder as well. You've seen it pop up in chat pretty much all broadcast long, and you will continue to do so. We do have this active option available for you here. Again, there is the community survey that we have going on, exclamation point survey, as you see there in chat. Hey, all you gotta do, complete the survey. You do have an opportunity to win yourself a PlayStation 5. Again, so difficult to track down, and all you have to do is fill out a survey, give us your opinion, help make the ECL experience that much better, the NHL Gamer experience that much better, as again, we are always looking for feedback and always continuing to grow. And I mean, certainly, Sin, we've been here for a couple of years now, covered numerous seasons at this point, and needless to say, the upward trajectory of this league as one of the, if not, in my opinion, the premier place to be. It just continues to get better and better. And again, PlayStation 5 can be yours! Exclamation point survey. So we are, again, just about ready to go. Puck drop, game number 1. Former champions in HAVU will be taking on GOONS. Just waiting for the teams to match up here. It would not be an opening day broadcast or a broadcast in general without some EA funkiness going on and somebody lagging out of a particular matchup. It's the best. It's the best. But we do the best with the with the platforms that we're given. Sin, one more opportunity here while these teams rematch, and we'll throw it back to the lineup screen just to be able to give you guys, some of the faces to the names here. But again, in talking about these particular teams, I look at both of these teams. Again, they both made the playoffs last year, but it was HAVU losing to H-Reds in 6. This has to be the most determined HAVU squad that we have seen in a long time. Not that they weren't determined last year, but you could always fall back as, oh well, we've traded championships with the now Frölunda HC, of course, formerly Philadelphia. They didn't make it to the finals last year, and I think that might generate that much more hunger for them.
Yeah, it absolutely will stick in the craw of a team like them. And what it's going to come down to is what it's always kind of come down to for them. They're going to have to be a very, very solid unit. They've obviously all of them great players, but they've never relied on that one player to be dominant constantly. And that's one of the strengths of HAVU, and they've been able to play to a system and really kind of use that system. We've seen it, a couple times. The HAVU Revenge Tour, where they lose a championship, they came back, won the championship. This time it hasn't been quite like that. They didn't even make it to the championship. So yeah, a lot to prove now for this HAVU squad, and they're going to look to get some points here against this Goon squad, who, in my opinion, as well, at least a lot to prove to themselves and to this league that they not only belong here, but last year being that middle seed, not a fluke, and they're here to stay.
Again, the preseason rankings determined by the captains voting. And again, Goons finishing no lower than 6th in terms of a projection for where they would be. This is a team where playoffs is viewed, the playoffs are viewed as the absolute minimum for this squad. Very excited to see what they can do. And we don't even have him in their starting lineup today. It's worth mentioning that another veteran defender in Elmari is also a depth option for this team this season, staying in Elite Division, coming over from Ypivasco. The Goons are, again, a team very much on the rise, and we're going to be able to see with these lineup changes, particularly on that right-hand side, just how they measure up to, very, very close to royalty in terms of competitive sixes. HAVU have won it all, but at the end of the day, it's often what have you done for me lately in a competitive scene, and we will see what they can do. So again, unfortunately, we are waiting for the teams to be able to sort things out, get the lobby back together, and I do believe we are rather close to being good to go. And Sin, there you go. Ask and you shall receive. So it is time. Game number 1, Goons and HAVU kicking off their season here. Goons, of course, you'd be surprised to know, in the white and red. HAVU in the black and green. Sin, I am so ready for this. This could also be a playoff preview.
It absolutely could, and we'll see how it kind of shakes out here in the first go of it. And I really want to see, what team kind of jumps out. Is HAVU going to be able to play the game that they want to play and sort of get into their system early, or are they completely evolved? Are they, past that, really kind of learning from the previous season or two, and reaching for perhaps the adjustments that they need to make? But it's a new iteration of NHL. A lot of things have changed in the gameplay themselves. A lot of things may change here in the ECL landscape. We're going to get a chance to see here. Goons and HAVU, game 1.
It will be Goons controlling the puck off the opening draw. Vincona is able to paddle that one away. Again, their first game of 30. Both these teams, like we said, not just playoff aspirations, championship aspirations this season, but a long, long way to go. We've already seen some surprising results this season. So, again, you never quite know what you're going to get off the draw. Another face-off win there for Kriketsi. Puck down low for Goons. Pass in front. Swing and a miss from Pico Roger. Does regain possession. Loose puck. Back now to the point. Viva has it for Goons. Viva looking around. Throws it on. And a good stop there by Hanselino. Again, one of the premier netminders in just the vast landscape is the best way to put it of competitive sixes, of course, not just the European side of things. As Goons, solid job of defending their blue line. Here comes Leitonen spinning in, loose puck on the doorstep. Pico Roger, a chance, and it's in! An unfortunate break for HAVU. Pico Roger will open up his goal-scoring account in just the first period of his first game as that puck trickles over the goal line. Goons strike first.
And that was an excellent play. I'm sad we can't get another look at it because it was Leitonen breaking that puck in, which really set it up. Pico Roger getting the shot from in tight, and it just sort of bounced in. I thought they maybe got another whack at it, but it was credited to Pico Roger, so it must have bounced off a skate of a defender. I'm not too sure. Either way, it found its way into the back of the net. That's a tough break for HAVU to start things off. Goons getting up to a 1-0.
Ace Radomanoiti tried to go to the backhand, maybe even 5-hole. Sorry to cut you off there right at the very end, but HAVU trying to strike back in quick fashion. Flyer Kungan with the puck down low, nearly separated from it, dishes it back to the point. Billy Kuhn throws one on, and it's kicked away by Vincona. Of course, Leitonen and Pico Roger. Here's Pico Roger, both of them in just their second elite season. They score! Kriketsi finds it, and Goons take a 2-0 lead, just 8:05 into the first.
My goodness, this Goon squad jumping out, making a statement early on here. What a start for them, and just an excellent job. The control on the side for Leitonen right there. Again, with the out-skating work coming down the wing, feeds the middle. Kriketsi able to capitalize an early 2-0 lead for Goons.
A shocking turn of events, to say the least, here again in the opening period of these two teams' seasons. Is Leitonen just offside, less than halfway through the first, and a 2-0 lead already for Goons. We'll see how they're able to battle back here, but an incredible job done to capitalize on those early chances.
Yeah, and really not what you want to see if you're HAVU. You're coming in here, everyone's kind of saying you're cooked perhaps, but maybe not. Look at that play.
Woo! What a save! Oh my God! Finn Kona, maybe with the save of the season in just the first game. HAVU still in on the attack somehow. This is not a 1-goal game. The chance there on the wraparound doesn't go either. Leitinen able to recover for Goons and to slow things down. It's the one time I wish caster cams were up. Sin's jaw still on the floor. What a stop. And a chance there. Kick save on the Flyer Kungan opportunity. Unbelievable chances there for HAVU. Here come Goons one more time. Good defensive display there, though, by Villikun to take that one away. Flyer Kungan not able to weave his way through traffic. Dominoiti recovers in the corner. Throws it in front. Kick stop by Finn Kona off of a weak attempt that was broken up. Weagleson, the new winger, of course, for HAVU. Trouble for Nasistelia. He's forced out of the zone. Great defense from Goons.
Yeah, excellent job right there, forcing him out and maybe even not allowing him to get that shot off. It's maybe in a desperation he could have thrown that one on the net right there. So we maybe saw Jay Toro going for the Omaha, thought better of it and held up.
Rickettsi trying to weave his way around the defender, battling Nasistelia. Loose puck knocked down below the goal line. Chance there for, excuse me, that was not Weagleson on the far side. That was Leitinen, of course. Getting used to these guys being on their new teams, of course. Bound to be some mistakes. Here's Nasistelia. Tries to go to Flyer Kungan on that short side. I think he hit the side of the goal. Leitinen, great job in avoiding the defense. Finds Pika Roger. Sauces to Rickettsi. Scores on the backhand. 3-0 Goons over former champions HAVU here in the first period.
In the fabled HAVU defense, the layers of defense that they so often have is right now being picked apart by Goons. What a play once again on the boards. That time, Piku Roger on his off wing. A beautiful sauce over to Rickettsi. Excellent time. Gave him the time and space. One-on-one with Hanselinho and capitalizes. A 3-goal first period for Goons.
Then you called it the former fabled defense of HAVU. It was really only their bitterest rivals in Philadelphia that had an opportunity at breaking them down. And normally that matchup would come in the finals. But so far, Goons have come to play here. HAVU have a lot of work to do trying to battle back. We have 6 seconds to go here in this opening frame and perhaps one more chance. Here's Leitinen in 2 seconds. Sauces through the slot, but just not able to find a teammate on the other side of it. An incredible save by Finn Kona and some offense down the other way. It is 3-0 as we get one more look at Rickettssi's second goal of the period. What a sauce pass that was to hit him in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, excellent sauce pass, but yeah, we got to talk about that Finn Kona save. That shouldn't be possible. That was unreal. That's a goal. Weagleson was robbed of a goal. An excellent blocker save, just insane reaction, insane stretch, just able to get a piece of that, knock it into the corner. I thought right then and there, that was HAVU stopping the bleeding, gaining some of that momentum back, but instead, Finn Kona with a absolutely ridiculous save, and guess what? His team scores off of the back of that. That just goes to show you, as we get an excellent look right there in the replay cam, how much a goaltender can alter the course of a game. Obviously, they can, but I mean, just a save like that, no words. And yes, my jaw was literally on the floor, on my desk, drool dripping onto my mic after that save was made. Just ridiculous.
Go along with the coffee stains on the carpet.
Oh, Jesus, don't bring that up.
Second period underway. HAVU and Goons, a stunning 3-0 lead through the opening frame as a chance for HAVU in the early stages of this second period. Goons back in on the attack. Leitinen just not able to hold on to it. Good staunch defending there from Nasistelia. Villikun has it now. Again, this defense pair reunited. They've had success with HAVU in the past, but a rough return to kick off ECL 22 here in our winter season again. Now a split season format with one grand champion crowned at the end of this. Goons offside there just about 4 minutes into the period.
Yeah, and if there is a a good thing about going down 3-0, it is that it only happened in one period and you have 2 periods to make up the deficit. I mean, you got to look at the positives here sometimes, folks, especially if you're HAVU here and they're not giving up.
Flyer Kungan drives that near side post. Vincona able to hold strong there alongside that post. Kept in by Weagleson. Shot blocked by the traffic in front. Captain Kungan has it one more time. Not able to hold on to it either. Here's Viba. Hands it over to Jay Toro. Big stretch pass. Now Sestelia. A lot of trouble there, but he's able to fend off that pressure from Lightning. And looking for that first HAVU goal in this game. Absolutely stunning start. Of course, we will have the second matchup. Each team, of course, plays the other team on a match day, home and home. And then we'll see you in the playoffs, perhaps. And for Goons right now, a perfect start. And a good interception there by Kirketsi. Leitinen throws it on. Blocker stop. Over to the corner there where HAVU struggling to get it out. An interesting moment there. Jay Toro nearly stepped into a one-timer. Great recovery defense by Aviva and Goons. Going back down the other way. That pass off the mark. Tried to hit Pico Roger. And we'll continue to hype him up. Last year's Rookie of the Year, joining some incredibly hyped up names as that one off the skate of Weagleson. But of course, you're talking about the likes of now champions, both FaZe and Nikki Dangles of our defending champion H-Reds, the prior 2 Rookie of the Year winners. So Pika Roger in great company. It's Dominoiti able to get to Flyer Kungan down low in the corner here now. Great job protecting that puck. Nasistelia looking, has some options. Circles back to the forehand. D to D, playing with fire, and that one's intercepted by Kirketsi. Not quite the powerful shot they were looking for from the point. Flyer Kungan tries to get it to Dominoiti. He still has it. Circles back, goes to the board. One-timer for Nasistelia. Another great block in front by Goons. HAVU, though, still in possession. Dominoiti along the half wall. Dishes it down low, gets it back from Weagleson. And again, Goons there to get a stick on it and break it up.
They're starting to get that zone time, but again, you mentioned it. Goons very, very good with the sticks in the lanes, breaking things up, not allowing them to penetrate the middle like I'm sure they want to, and just not really any dangerous chances coming out from HAVU.
Pika Roger has it, dishes back down to Leighton, and here's Kirketsi. Great cycle, but a better job there by Villikun to get in front. A tough break for Viba in a foot race with Flyer Kungan. Has a bit more speed. He'll win the puck. Wraparound bid doesn't go. Loose puck. Leitinen has it here now for Goons. Has some attacking help, but he'll just bring it into the zone himself. Around the back of the net, tries to bring it to the house on the short side. And Hanselino's able to make the save. What an individual effort from Leitinen.
He's looking great so far in the Goons sweater. He's not looking out of place at all. He's been amazing at breaking the puck in, and not only that, seemingly making something out of nothing, which is what he did right there.
Chance for Leitinen again, straight into the glove of Hanselino. Sin, incredibly fast-paced to this game. We're in the final minute of the second period, still 3-0 for Goons.
Yeah, and that's doesn't bode well for HAVU, as they'd like to see, more time on that clock. But for Goons, just keep playing the way they're playing, grinding it out. They don't have to stretch for offense, although they are still looking for it. It's really kind of, them in the driver's seat right now, and it's going to have to be HAVU to be able to take it to them, throw them off their game somehow.
Give and go between Jay Toro and Piku Roger. Hanselino, another save. Great positioning. Doesn't give up the rebound, of course, for HAVU here as well. You saw Villikun dealing with an injury that might slow him down for the rest of this period. It'll be difficult for HAVU to maybe get one last counterattack like they're looking to do, as they do have possession here. Weagleson nowhere to go. Jay Toro was all over him. Final 7 seconds. Leitinen with a little bit of space. Pressured. Here's Pika. Roger can't get that pass back in front, and that will do it for the second period. A goalless 20 minutes, so still, again, a 3-0 lead, as you'll get a look at another Finn Kona stop here. Maybe not as impressive as the prior one, but look at that puck right along the ice. Another good stop. Finn Kona's been perfect so far.
Yeah, see a lot more shots on the ice as well, usually in the Euro scene, as we do see the meta for the goaltenders very very rarely do they manually butterfly, and so shooting low at times can be a very beneficial, especially more in tight. But with the way some of the deflections and rebounds work, shooting low is just in so many cases better in NHL 22. So good to see a lot of that kind of coming out the way you expect the game to sort of be played. Even with the difference between the European and the NA meta, but I mean, so far so good for Goons. Again, look at the time on attack. HAVU actually with the advantage, as they did get quite a lot in that period. But I gotta say, dangerous scoring chances still seeming to favor Goons. Besides, obviously, that one ridiculous save coming off from Finn Kona. There've been a couple other, but I definitely feeling like Goons still have the upper hand when it comes to chances, and their ability to seemingly make chances almost out of nothing with the passes from that wing, or Lightning making something happen. Nice dump and chase here to start off for HAVU,
and they get a goal just like that. And you called out the dump and chase. Weagleson has his first as a member of HAVU. Can you think of a better start to a period when you're down 3-0? Just 45 seconds in, they get that first goal.
Absolutely not, and I'm absolutely loving to see the dump and chase become more prominent in the Euro scene. It really hasn't been in years past, but this iteration of NHL definitely calls for it, and Flyer Kungen, capitalizing on it, getting in there behind the defense, getting to that puck first, throwing it across. They get a big goal here, only down by 2, plenty of time left.
A whole new game here off the back of that goal. Again, Weagleson's first for his new club. Great way to open up the scoring account there. What a play by Lehtinen, still fighting for it. Has Pekka Roger and Kriketzi with him. Loose puck in front, and it's Nasistelia able to take that one away. Lehtinen has some of the top-notch creativity that we often don't see in favor of the safe play. He's not afraid to try something different.
Yeah, and it has led to some good chances early on here for Goons.
Billy Kuhn's shot off the leg of a defender in front. Here's Weagleson, the goal scorer, nearly found Flyer Kungen. Nearly paid him back there after Flyer Kungen set up that previous goal. As Viba's able to hold this one, he'll have to run it back to avoid traffic. Dishes off for Pekka Rogers. So again, 45 seconds into the period, HAVU strike. They're back to within 2. Pekka Roger runs into the double team, nearly held it in the zone. Quickly up now to Dominoiti. Good interception, though, by Jay Toro. Still so weird to see him in a Goons uniform. Kriketzi has it down low. Knocked off the puck. Nasistelia with traffic. Weagleson turns it over to Kriketzi. Still fighting for it is the captain. He has it off a skate to the point. Pekka Roger will send it down low. Great zone time here for Goons. Can they capitalize? Kriketzi looking. Goes to Jay Toro to Viba. What a block by Flyer Kungen. Love to see it. But still, it's Viba in possession. Over now for Pekka Roger for Goons 2. Killing the clock. This is perfect for them at this stage. HAVU not able to get a clean zone exit. And Nasistelia send it over to Villikun. Chance now for Dominoiti with a little bit of speed. Goes for the sauce, Flyer Kungen. Just couldn't get a stick to it. Loose puck all the way back. A foot race for it. Goons will win it, but an errant play there. And again, maybe that's just some of the lack of chemistry so far. As Jay Toro didn't hold a risky pass there by Viba. Doesn't pay for it. You have Weagleson really trying to force the issue there on the attacking play with that forecheck. Send HAVU down to 6.5 minutes to go. It was a great start to the period, but they need a goal here and fast.
They absolutely do, and Goons has done a good job of kind of just managing the game from that standpoint.
Just wide of the post after that net drive. Still fought on for in the corner. Weagleson for Dominoiti. Back for Weagleson. Still fighting. Scores! Another strong net drive. His second of the period. And with 5:03 to go, HAVU are back to within 1. What a goal for Weagleson.
Yeah, really making his presence known on this HAVU roster, multi-goal, and just an excellent job right there behind the net. And this is kind of the trap that you can fall into. If you're Goons, it's that fine line between, do you try to kill the clock and sit back a bit, or do you try to force the issue and let the game open up? They sat back a bit. That being said, great offensive zone time, but still, HAVU now within 1, still with time to tie this game up. It's got to kind of feel bad now for Goons. You got to on the edge of your seat just that little bit more. And if you're HAVU, you're feeling pretty good. It was a rough start, but you're coming on here at the end. Still got time to tie it, and they're looking better and better as this game has gone on.
And the final 5 minutes of this third period, now down to a 1-goal game. Chance here for Kirketsi in the corner, finds Piku Roger, swaps places. He banks it off the back of the net. Now Cecilia having trouble picking it up. Piku Roger has it and is just disrupted by Villikun. Almost a similar chance to what Wiegelson had on that second goal. Dominoiti, burst of speed down the wing, throws it in front, loose puck. Wiegelson shot denied, and Finn Kona is able to cover. Scary moment there.
Yep. And you're seeing HAVU now committing 4 men on the rush. That's something that they're going to have to do, and it's looking good right there. They all committed to the rush, collapsed around the net, looking for bounces, looking for in-tight passes. Unfortunately, didn't capitalize.
That shot knocked down by Kirketsi in front. 2 minutes on the clock here. Again, the first game of 2 between these two teams, and a penalty is called. Goons will go to the power play. It's going to be a boarding call as Piku Roger was taken down. Worst case scenario for HAVU. Although you could argue that would be if they give up a goal here to the netminder. Finn Kona just couldn't hold it on the net drive, but Goons go to the power play with 56 seconds to go. It is Villikun going for just absolute murder. Can't argue with that call.
No, it was technically the right play, trying to close off the boards, get the body. He didn't quite hit the side of him, hit him directly in the numbers, so he will be going to the box, and that's just the worst time for that penalty to happen. That being said, always a chance for shorties.
Indeed, and they do have the chance. Wiegelson has the 2 goals in this game so far. Kirketsi able to find Piku Roger. Sauce over and a trip, and an excellent trip at that. And it will just be a penalty. That was a perfect trip to take, though, from the other defenseman in Nasustelia, because after another phenomenal sauce pass, what incredible work with the sauce passes from Goons. That may have been the goal to seal the deal.
Yeah, and unfortunately for HAVU, that's, as you mentioned, a penalty they had to take, but, you know, it came from a risk that they also had to take, trying to stretch it out. They get caught, and Goons can essentially just clear the clock right there as they, unfortunately, go offside right there, have to regain entry.
Here's Leitinen, has a little bit of space. You know they want that goal to seal the deal. Kirketsi can't hold it. Leitinen around the back. Viba will give chase, 25 to go. Viba back down low. Leitinen in front. Another pass to Piku Rogers. Kirketsi didn't pull the trigger. Bouncing puck. Flyer Kungan has it. They're down to 5-on-3 and they lose it. Kirketsi able to regain. He has to hold 10 seconds here. Intercepted. One more chance. Wiegelson has it knocked loose by J. Toro. Viba tries to hold it in the corner. Loses it. Dominoiti. Can he get it in front in time? He can't. And Goons hold on to win. They coast off the back of a 3-0 first period and end up holding on to win 3-2.
Yeah, excellent job from Goons throughout the game. You know, a bit, I won't say, giving too much up at the end. Just HAVU, being able to jump back in the game as they are, so as good as they are, and you can't keep them off the scoreboard forever. You're not going to shut them down forever. But again, a great overall game from Goons. Maybe one adjustment I'd like to see them make is a little less sitting back once they get that 3-goal lead. I think they still generated some chances, but at times they seemed a little bit too content in working the puck around rather than trying to get some shots on net, etc. so forth. You're not really going to be able to clock a team as dangerous as HAVU, so a lesson that they should have learned after that, and they still get the 2 points because of it. The best case scenario for them, for HAVU, it was just a rough start that doomed them, and they're going to want to look to avoid that. They kind of know how hard Goons can come out so far, and give themselves credit. They did, inch their way back into that one, claw their way back into that one, if you will, just unable to come up with the tie.
And again, in that first period, Finn Kona with a phenomenal save for Goons. Who knows what this game might have been if it was 3-1 after that first period, but you got to look at the numbers there. A pretty close game, but unfortunately for HAVU, down by 1 late in the third. They get into penalty trouble, and that pretty much sealed the deal. A strong debut for Wiegelson with those 2 goals. Again, we are going to be jumping into game 2 here in just a few moments, as we might get a look at a couple of the goals back here, and it looks like we will. It's going to be that second goal that we get a look at here, and that pass, unbelievable. Probably shouldn't have worked the way that it did, but Sin, that's one of those breaks that you get in this game sometimes.
Yeah, and that was just an excellent work coming off of the boards right there with the L skating, with the kind of the spinorama right there. This one especially from the same side of the ice. Piku Roger, a beautiful saucer pass to the perfect area. Kriketzi picks it up, and that was yeah, his second. And surprisingly, that's why it surprised me that he opted the pass there towards the end when they had that 5-on-3, when he had that excellent shooting opportunity. It was his potential hat trick goal, opted the pass back to Piku Roger, and they didn't end up getting a shot out of it. Either way, again, they didn't pay for any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's some stuff to tighten up, I would say, from both sides. Again, when you have a 3-goal lead, you don't like to see a team creep back within one towards the end of the game. And if you're HAVU, that rough start doomed them. They didn't quite show up on the same page as Goons was, and that led to their demise. So a lot for kind of both teams to probably take a look at and want to fix, but a lot of positives as well for both sides. So those 1-goal games, as kind of lopsided as it seemed to be in the beginning, came back to being just a 1-goal game with HAVU really, really knocking on the door to tie it.
So for Goons, in talking about the positives of that particular game, I mean, aside from the early goal scoring there, Lightning, incredibly impressive in his
Mhm.
debut game, at least within the elite division for Goons. And honestly, I mean, the Viva J Toro pairing as well looked pretty solid. I mean, again,
Yeah.
3-2, it ended up being closer, like you said, than we might have thought it was going to be. But I thought that was a very impressive performance. And for Finn Kona as well, I mean, obviously that one save is really going to stand out. But I mean, again, 781 save percentage last year. We know 800's the bar for good goaltending. We know he's typically above that bar, and Goon still made the playoffs last year despite that save percentage. If we see that Finn Kona that showed up, that made those big saves against the top team and gave Goons a chance to win, then absolutely. I mean, again, 29 games to go in the regular season, but I think Goons might have a realistic chance at hitting that target of being one of the higher rated teams this season. For HAVU, the big question was Wiegelson. 2 goals in his debut after, again, having to step into what's been a pretty tumultuous spot. But you're talking about someone who had 45 points in 28 games. And I made that comparison on our preview show that we had run before the, start of the actual broadcast here. And, maybe not exactly the same player, but almost similar to a Villapoica, where it's like, hey, all you got to do is just get this guy onto a top notch team. And he has the chance to just see
Yeah.
his offensive numbers absolutely explode. 2 goals in your first game is a pretty good way to prove that. So, what stands out for you heading into this second game? I mean, it likely is just simple. I'll set it up for you to say it's just a better start that HAVU needs. But is there anything else that stands out for you?
Um, it's not the HAVU of old. And what I mean by that is they're not married to the system. They didn't die on that hill. They opened it
Mm.
up. And I love that. That's exactly what I feel like they've been missing over the past couple seasons as everyone adjusted to them. For Goons, again, they're the great start was great, but they're really kind of giving me early H-Reds vibes where they got all that young talent. They're really starting to figure out they're able to dictate the pace of the offense as well, and they really seem to do that a lot against HAVU. Their passing was phenomenal. Their cycling was phenomenal. If you could do that to a team like HAVU, which historically has been one of the best, if not the best, defensive teams in ECL Elite, there's definitely something there, and I can't wait to see how that develops for Goons as this season goes on.
Absolutely. So again, just about ready for our second game, and of course our fourth and final of this broadcast. We mentioned it earlier, of course. Make sure to tune in tomorrow as well for coverage of our second tier, the Pro Division. Again, a couple of matchups there. Again, King Lime, the voice of Anaheim's Ducks Gaming, is joining us for this season, and my good buddy Tymo, of course, good friend of both of ours. Tymo will be here as well, applying his trade to the color commentary game. I'm excited to see what those two can do. Again, Dynastia and Boomers, Penta and Deadly Phantoms. And of course, Sin and I will be back on Wednesday and Thursday. Again, previously Thursdays were our finished broadcast days. Sin and I pulling triple duty for the majority, if not all, of this season. Of course, every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 1945 CET. Sin and I will be here again for coverage of the ECL Elite Division. Of course, brought to you by those lovely people up there: Xbill, Wilhelm, Kovalan Lakritzi, and ST Hockey. So again, we are just about ready to go for our fourth and final game. And, maybe similar to that first game as well, where we saw that split. A little bit of pressure here now on HAVU. Obviously, you don't want to drop points early on. And really, it oftentimes is. Like for HAVU, it would be shocking if they're not a playoff team.
Yeah.
That said, we said not to say this situation's going to happen, but in the Elite Division, if you let these opportunities slip, you never know how it might snowball.
Yeah.
The perfect example is Yippee Voskala. Again, maybe not the championship pedigree of HAVU, but Yippee Voskala, we're like, oh yeah, playoff team next year. They are playing in Pro Division this year after getting relegated, and a move that has to be one of the most shocking turn of events, if not the most shocking
Yeah.
turn of events we've seen in our time here. So for HAVU, you're thinking, oh yeah, if we lose both the Goons, we'll bounce back. But then what happens if you start dropping points to those other teams in the playoff mix? And all of a sudden, you really do start to lose that aura that you've built up as HAVU. Oh God, HAVU's on the schedule. We're boned. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, HAVU, man, we can take points off of them, and we might finish third instead of fifth. And that's trouble for HAVU.
Yeah.
I think they need a strong performance here.
So much of esports, especially, but any kind of competitive scene is mental. And
Yeah.
when you lose that mental edge that Havu's had for so long, that can kind of get to you. And that's a big thing going into things. People, for many times, people are afraid. And when you play hesitant into Havu, that's where they get you. They absolutely swallow you whole. And we may be seeing that some of that disappear, or young team like Goons with some of those younger players, a lot of fire to prove themselves, just not caring. And I think you made a great comparison with the Yippee Voskala situation, from first seed to missing the playoffs to relegation. What a fall that was. And HAVU, not to say that that's going to happen to them, but that's got to kind of be on the minds of some of them, and some of the viewers out there as well.
So again, these teams ready to go. Our fourth and final game of this broadcast. We'll shout it out one more time. Of course, we still have our active survey, as you see there, exclamation point survey in chat. The opportunity for you to win the ever elusive PS5. All you got to do is take part in our survey. We will be drawing a winner very, very soon. Of course, always looking for your feedback on how to take things to the next level here at NHL Gamer. Of course, so much going on there as well. The badges of all the leagues, of course, that have been a part of the NHL Gamer umbrella. So again, exclamation point survey. You see the link in chat there. Fill it out. Give us your thoughts, and you have a chance to win a PlayStation 5. They are real. Believe it or not. I mean, I've never seen one with my own eyes, and they've been out apparently for over a year, but we have one. We'll be giving one away. How crazy is that? So with that, Sin, again, just about ready for this final game. How great is it to be back, of course, with NHL Gamer. We've been doing this now for almost 3 years, multiple seasons covered. And speaking to that survey, of course, we have seen this league get better and better. I mean, again, that big step forward this year as well, with our Pro Division being covered a little bit more. But for now, we turn our attention. It is game number 2. It is Goons and HAVU. Goons, of course, in the home red. And we'll see if they can get off to as hot of a start as they did in that first game. Pika Roger not able to hold that puck there. Here's a chance for Wigelson. Nearly danced his way through. Pika Roger having a little bit of trouble. We know Flyer Kungan loves a more physical player, and he scores! What a heads-up play by the captain. Notice that bit of open space on the short side. He tucks it, and a much better start for HAVU. They score under 2 minutes into the first period.
Yeah, an unassisted goal, and that is vintage Flyer Kungan right there. Always a threat on that forecheck, either with his body or that defensive skill stick. Forces the turnover, gets it on the board, brings it to the middle, and picks that short side. We wanted a better start out of HAVU. I'd say a goal in the first 2 minutes definitely equates to that. 1-0 for them.
Absolutely perfect start. What a shot that was by Flyer Kungan, being able to tuck that top corner. And we'll see how Goons respond now, obviously trailing for the first time in this very, very young ECL 22 winter season. Their first, well, yeah, I don't know if you could say their first bit of adversity. Lightning comes through, and Hanselino with the big split save. Great job there. It's like the roles have been reversed. That one looked a little bit dangerous as well. Goons really putting the pressure on. What a hot start here in the early stages of this first period. Puck now in the corner. One back by Goons. Here's Jay Toro. Again, played with HAVU last year after leaving the now Frölunda HC team the year before that. A huge coup for Goons to be able to pick up a player of that caliber. There's trouble there for Dominointi. He is able to hold. Finds Nasistelia. Down low for Wiegelson. Likes to give it to Flyer Kungen. Tried to pass back, a bit too much traffic. Dominointi still pressuring. Goons, great outlet pass to Lightning. Has help with them. Lightning, what a poke check. Nasistelia stands tall, and that's what he's capable of. Here comes Dominointi, head of steam. Able to get that pass for Wiegelson. He rifles it through the slot, nobody home, but still HAVU in possession. Flyer Kungen to the point now, Villikun. Again, just his second game back after sitting out all of last year. It's Pika Roger for Goons, and again, Nasistelia comes up with it. Incredible pace to this first 10 minutes here. It's Flyer Kungen. Head of steam around the back of the net, takes a tour of the zone, hands it to Nasistelia, D to D. Dominointi now down in the corner. Finds Wiegelson. That one nearly snuck in after going off a skate to the traffic in front. Here's Kirketsi, his shot denied. What a start to this game from Nasistelia, shutting down everything that comes near him, a black hole of defense.
That was an absolutely beautiful way of handling that 2-on-1 a few moments ago as well. Just perfectly played to negate a chance.
That puck in the corner here. Leitinen. Round the back for Pika Roger. Wanted that wraparound bid. Pika Roger still fighting for it. Somehow has it. Here's Viba. Back for Roger. This one all the way around once more. Leitinen has a couple of options. Tried to find the man in front, but Dominointi was there to intercept. Tried to lead the charge the other way, but good back pressure for Pika Roger. We have 5 minutes to go here. An incredibly fast-paced first period. Great poke check. HAVU stifles him at the blue line. It's Goons looking to reset now. Viba for Captain Kirketsi. Finds Jay Toro. Gets the puck down into the corner. Pika Roger fighting for it. Wrap around through the crease. So close for Lightning. All the way through the blue paint and out the other side. Kirketsi's shot's blocked, but he gets it right back. What a pass to Lightning and picked off by Villikun. Chances on both sides of the ice. Wiegelson for Flyer Kungen. Tried to go back to Wiegelson. Scramble for the puck, and Viba will come up with it for Goons. He's passed off the mark. A minute and a half to go here in this first period. Here's Villikun. Couple of quick passes. Dominointi somehow holding it through the double team pressure. Flyer Kungen to Dominointi. He scores! Another quick pass in front from the captain, and Dominointi was able to find it. 2-0, now in favor of HAVU.
So it took a bit of time for them to get going, but this is looking like the new and improved HAVU. More offensive chances, still able to disrupt some of those defensive plays, but opening it up when they need to, looking for different looks when they need to right there. But that one was classic. Behind the net, down low, cycling in tight pass out front, capitalized on. Dominointi puts HAVU up 2-0.
And you may have seen it there as well during the celebration. You got Wiegelson rocking the gold helmet, of course, for those unfamiliar, the gold helmet signifying that team's leading scorer. It is Wiegelson, of course, after those 2 goals in the opening game, but for how much longer when you have Flyer Kungen scoring goals and dishing out assists left and right? 3 seconds to play. Goons will kill the clock in the first period. So, Sin, what a turnaround. First period of game 1, it was 3-0 Goons. First period of game 2, 2-0 for HAVU.
Yeah, and while Goons still did look dangerous, they were unable to capitalize, and HAVU looked a lot more ready to go in this one. Definitely not a tentative start as you could argue they had in that first one where Goons was able to capitalize early. And if you're Goons now, you got to be wondering, like, oh, well, I mean, they really capitalized off in that last game was a lackluster start for HAVU. And now they're going to maybe kind of be questioning, what do we have to do to get back into this one? Did we, kind of luck out and catch HAVU sort of with their pants down, or were they able to, really find something? And HAVU, I mean, what? It's a night and day difference, the start, and a night and day difference from their style of play than we've seen perhaps in years past. Really evolving is this lineup and their play style as well, and it's definitely paid off in spades here in this first one. And again, in the last one, they still almost came back to tie it. So HAVU definitely looking good so far. Goons now on the ropes, going to have to look for an answer here in this second period.
Indeed, second period ready to begin here. We'll see what Goons have in the tank here in terms of a potential comeback. Again, HAVU made that first game really close. Here's Dominoiti for Weagleson. He's knocked off the puck. I expect this incredibly fast pace to continue here. There's Weagleson able to get that at the blue line. Gets absolutely crushed. Of course, you'll never see anybody really go through the fight prompt. The one time we did see a line brawl last year was interesting, though. Here's Kirketsi, the shot. Big stop by Hanselinho. Take the quick out. Big stretch pass from Weagleson, just out of the reach of Flyer Kungen. Now Sestelia, trouble on the back pressure. Weagleson able to recover for HAVU. Both teams tightening up the blue line a little bit here. Should certainly favor HAVU a little bit more if they're able to keep that possession. Here's Flyer Kungen. Down low in the corner. Dominoiti between the legs, nearly hit the captain back. HAVU finding more success. They love those quick passes around the posts. Weagleson throws one on, still fighting for it. Fincona able to find it and make the cover.
Dangerous. That's the one word I can use to describe HAVU right now is dangerous. Their defense, Nasistelia especially, just completely suffocating to what Goons want to try to do. And their offense is looking incredibly good right there as, it was Weagleson taking that knock along the boards right there. Maybe even a bit shaken up, so keep an eye on if that's a lower or upper body injury. That will affect various stats, and see how he's skating and how he's taking some shots and making passes.
Trouble for Leitonen, and Weagleson wins it, goes back to the point. Then quick set of give and goes. Now Sestelia for Villikun. Shot on, good rebound. Nobody in a HAVU sweater able to get it. They tried that quick out. HAVU's all over that in attempt 2. Much more complete performance from HAVU so far in this game. This is what we expect to see from a team of their caliber. Here's Weagleson. Tries to make the move. Leitonen's there. Still fighting for the puck now. Pika Roger for Leitonen. Tried to send it back to the point. Pass off the mark. That one off a skate, though. Follow-up error. It's Goons in control down low in the corner. Pika Roger around the back. Leitonen for Kirketsi in front again. Just off the mark. Both these teams so close to completing these plays. Just a little bit of inaccuracy costing them. We have HAVU over the blue line. Weagleson weaving his way through. Back again to Nasistelia. Throws it on. Deflection bit for Dominoiti. And he nearly got a second chance. Great save by Fincona. Of course, Fincona technically gave up 2 goals in the first 2 shots he faced. Jay Tora. We get that one around for Viba. Has a lot of space to work with. Hands off for Pika Roger. Villikun's there, but his pass off the mark. And we'll go down for icing with 6:53 on the clock here in the second period.
Yeah, excellent chance for Goons here to sort of get themselves established in the offensive zone, something that's been much more difficult for them here in the second game as HAVU, that defense, the Fable defense has definitely tightened up.
That shot through the traffic, still in a dangerous area, poked away to the corner. Great job by Leitonen to win it back. Kirketsi shot, rebound, still up for grabs there. HAVU able to get a piece of it. Much more complete performance, of course, from Hanselinho as well in terms of the positioning from the netminder. Here's Kirketsi now for Goons. Tried to go back to the point. Picked off by Dominoiti. He's all alone, and he's denied. What a stop by Fincona. Sin, he never moved as Dominoiti took a nap after that net drive. Here's Goons. Kirketsi over. Saved by Hanselinho on the other side. It looked like it was in. It's picked away off the line. Oh, how I'd love to get another look at that. The defender grabbed it through Hanselinho's pads and stopped it from going in. That one off the side of the net for Flyer Kungen, and a power play coming up for HAVU. Goons called for interference. What just happened in the last 30 to 45 seconds?
That was Dominoiti picking that one off of the line. I got to ask him what build he's using, because if I do that, I just knock it in right there. But of course, that's why he's there, and I'm here. A power play coming up for HAVU Gaming. We'll see if they're able to extend that lead.
It is their left defender in Viba to the box. Nasu Stelia has it here for HAVU. Over to Villikun. Now Dominoiti tried to go back to him. Nasu able to switch sides and keep it alive. Shot on from Villikun. Blocked down. Leitonen able to clear all the way back down to the HAVU zone. We've seen some incredible scrambles of action here between these two teams. Villikun, ill-advised move. Flyer Kungan able to get it into the attacking zone. Loose puck and cleared out by Piku Roger. And obviously a slightly faster clock now. Here in the final minute of play in the period. Time for one more rush for HAVU. 30 seconds left in the period. This one below the goal line. Leitinen can't clear. Dominoiti recovers. Banked it off the side, and Fincona's able to cover it. There's another penalty called, though. An interference. An interference minor here against Jay Toro for a little bit of a bump. That's a really weak call, but
yeah, they're a lot tighter. Those ones are called definitely a lot tighter in this one, as that was considered to be a problem for some forwards, with just defensemen kind of be able to give those little shoves, unable to get your stick on pucks, etc., so forth. So that was definitely tightened up here in NHL 22. But yeah, that's a tough break for Jay Toro. Tough break for this Goon squad, as having to start the third period on the penalty kill, but also, having those last few seconds. Fortunately for them, no late goal for HAVU. It's still only the 2-goal deficit. That being said, you haven't been able to beat this defense or Hansalino in this one, and you are running out of time.
A 2-0 lead for HAVU, carrying through from that first period. Same exact story as the last game, a goal a second after a team jumps out to a multi-goal lead in the first. I mean, some very eventful moments, though, and close chances for both. But again, Goons now playing with fire a little bit after a successful kill, having to make another one. Certainly not the way you want to start off a period here, when one goal can get you right back into it. Yeah, having to put that pressure on to get that shorthanded goal. How much of a risk reward is it really? How much of a risk do they take?
And I'm kind of curious to see if we see the HAVU of old right here with the 2-goal lead going into the third period, if they just shut things down, put up those layers of defense, and say, hey, Goons, come at us, and see if they can even break that down, which they haven't really been able to do too much in this one here. But they start off on the power play. Let's see them try to get that zone entry and set something up.
Trouble there along the half wall. Still a loose puck in. Cleared out for Goons. As you can see there, they elected not to chase. 1 minute remaining in the minor interference call on right defender Jay Toro there for Goons. 40 seconds now. A chance for the rush. High line. Falling back to the 4-man trap on the blue line. And HAVU having a little bit of trouble keeping possession. Now Sustelia running into a centerman. And for HAVU right now, just nowhere to go. They finally do gain the zone. We're back to 5-on-5. This will be held in by now Sustelia at the left point. Looking here, D to D. Villikun's shot blocked down in front. Dominoiti looking, and pass across, nearly found a way through. Great look from Flyer Kungan, trying to find Weagleston one more time, as Kirketsi has that one poked away, and it's back. And a huge hit there at the blue line. I was going to say back to the neutral zone. Goons get it right back in the attacking zone early. Puck off the side, and then it's in front, and they score! Piku Roger finds a gift. Wide open in front, or at least in the slot, and Sin, that puck somehow found its way there. Piku Roger has another goal in the early stages of this season, and we're down to a 1-goal game.
Yeah, it was just a bouncing puck right there. Sustelia looking like he maybe got caught a little bit in a pickup animation, wasn't able to move over and cover Piku Roger properly, who, as you said, it got a gift of a rebound. Bats that one home past Hansalino. It's a 1-goal game, and again, plenty of time, so that's a huge boon for Goons right there. We'll see if they're able to build on that, but HAVU can't be happy about that. They're going to want to get that puck right back in and establish their attack.
2 successful kills and a goal to get some momentum back as Piku Roger across scores! We're tied at 2! What a pass! What a goal for Kirketsi! It's a whole new game.
And Goons once again just proving that they can score in bunches, and Piku Roger proving once again why he was the rookie of the season in the last one. A beautiful sauce all the way across for Kirketsi, who just gets that one over the line as it hit Hansalino's pad and trickled in. We have a tie game here in the third, Doogie.
Absolutely unreal. The saucer passes from Goons on a different level. Here's Piku Roger with a bit more space. Loose puck. Throws it off the side of the goal. Just like that, from 2-0 to 2-2. Trouble for Dominoiti. He's able to get it out. HAVU led almost the entire way. They scored, 2-3 minutes into the game. And it held the lead up until the very early stages here of this third period. Again, Goons winning the first game 3-2 in regulation. Great dump and chase there. 2 men available. Here's Dominoiti. Great poke check, though. Here's Viba. Trouble, but is able to get it to Leitinen. Great job by Goons in their own zone. Speaker Roger has trouble. Here's Flyer Kungan. Takes a huge hit. Gets absolutely lit up. The captain's down and without a stick. Chance here for Goons down the other way. Can't switch the camera. They score! It's Viva who pinches in. 3 unanswered for Goons. Thank God they can't skip replays this year so we can see this one again.
Unreal. Just a massive collision right there. Excellent read from Viva to jump into the play, and I got to give him a shout out. He has not made a bad pinch once in these games so far. He's been really, great defensively. That's not to say that he makes bad pinches, but however, he loves to get up into that play, but he's been very hesitant understanding the situations, and he gets rewarded right there with a massive go-ahead goal here in the third.
Hands for Goons again. Kirketsi the spin. Great poke check. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen as he misses the puck there. Flyer Kugan still hurt. They nearly scored again. Leitonen has it. Can't get the pass or the shot off. Chance now for Kirketsi. Pika Roger. Leitonen stopped. Didn't get all of that chance in. 12 minutes into the third period. It has been all Goons. 3 unanswered goals to grab the lead. And that Viva goal was so similar to the Piku Roger goal. Just right place at the right time to get that puck and to be able to bury it glove side on Hanselinho.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like this team flipped the switch. They just found a switch and they flipped it here in the third period. And they definitely are seeming like a very momentum-driven team here, at least in the first 2 games we've seen them. This scoring in bunches, 3 unanswered in 2 different scenarios. One to take a stranglehold lead, in this one to come back from a 2-goal deficit here in the third, and scoring them all by just over the midway point in the period. Absolutely ridiculous. Against a HAVU team, again, we're going to say it, a fabled defensive dynamo here, and Goons able to find a way to beat them.
Here's Flyer Kungan. Dominoiti can't hold it. And that drive. Pika Roger finds it below the goal line. Goons with the chance to absolutely stun HAVU here. Battle 4 in the corner. HAVU come up with it. Dominoiti leading the way. A lot of back pressure. Wiegelson for Dominoiti. Flyer Kungan backhand chance on the short side. And Fincona is there to make the save.
Yeah, I like that coming out from the captain, Flyer Kungan there, just kind of putting that on, hoping for a bouncer, maybe even hoping it just skitters through the 5-hole of Fincona there. They do get a chance for it, not able to put it home, but an offensive zone draw.
Off the tie-up, loose puck. Nasistelia has it for HAVU, under 4 minutes to go. Big time pressure there, though, from Leitonen. Great work. And HAVU have to reset in their own zone. 3 minutes to go. Sin mentioned the idea of HAVU. Great dump in there. Sin mentioned the idea of HAVU just kind of trapping. Now it's Goons who are somehow in a position to do the same. But Fincona is forced to cover as he takes it off the stick of his defender in front.
With 2:22 here in the third period, HAVU's making the wish that they can find that tying marker, at least get this game to overtime. Dropping all 4 points would be a terrible start for them in this season. I'm sure they would agree. Great face-off win, and Viva jumps into the play to start the rush.
Ooh, so close for Pico Roger on that follow-up spin. You saw there, too, the shots. It's been an incredibly one-sided period. We saw at the opening stages of this game, Sin rightfully saying, oh, it's like HAVU kind of got warmed up and they woke up a little bit. Guess you could say Goons as well, able to find their tempo as this game has gone on. A chance here now for Goons. Final minute of play. Can HAVU tie it? Same exact situation as the prior game. Leitonen tried to sauce it through. Loose puck, and Billy Coons there. Let's see what HAVU can do. Trying to force overtime. Jay Toro will send it all the way down. We have a foot race. Leitonen not going to be able to win it. Great job by Hanselinho to get out there and play it. Now with 40 seconds to go on the clock. That pass off the mark. Wiegelson for Dominoiti. Now Nasistelia having so much trouble breaking into the attacking zone. Turned over. Breakaway for Leitonen. Here comes the back pressure. He's forced to set out of it. With that spin move as well. Couldn't hold on. 20 seconds now. Miscommunication for HAVU. Dominoiti for Flyer Kungan. For Dominoiti. Scores! Out of nowhere! On the backhand. We're tied at 3. Dominoiti has another one. What an unbelievable game.
Wow, Flyer Kungan, an excellent play right there. The patience with the puck, that's so hard when the seconds are ticking away and your life is on the line. But he gets the puck, holds off the defender from the back, puts a perfectly timed pass to Dominoiti, who's able to beat Fincona on the backhand far side to tie this game up with 12.9 seconds left. Is this enough drama for you guys out there? Because it sure is for us.
That veteran experience paying off, but we still had 5 seconds to go until overtime. HAVU tie it up. They'll earn a point and maybe more. 60 minutes, not enough to decide this one. What an unbelievable game.
And it was HAVU last season who was part of the tandem that put us through the 4 overtimes in the season opener. Are we going to have something similar here? It's tough to kind of picture that with how these two teams have played and the goals that have just been scored seemingly out of nowhere and coming in bunches here. It'll only take one in this overtime period, and I don't know how to call it. I don't know how to call it. I thought the first game was obviously all GOONS, but then HAVU made it close. The second game was clearly all HAVU until GOONS took the lead, and HAVU had to come back to tie it. Just the back and forth action from these two teams has been just phenomenal, and we're just going to have to let overtime speak for itself, because I do believe there's going to be fireworks.
You know, I view that overtime game in last year's season opener as the old man with the fish, like the old man and the fish kind of story, where it's like, yeah, it was a 12-pounder. Yeah, it was a 25-pounder. Like the amount of overtimes that lasted. It's like, it was like 62 overtimes. It's fine. Yeah. It's the longest game we've ever had on broadcast. And who knows, maybe this one will manage to break it. It is overtime. Sudden death, there must be a winner for that extra point between GOONS and HAVU, and that puck nearly kept alive by Lehtinen.
Yeah, Villikun just able to adjust his skating right there to get the puck off of that bounce, as we have seen some interesting pickups in those close scenarios where even if you feel like you have half step, that guy can kind of pick it up around you. So nice attempt right there for GOONS, trying to catch him napping a bit. I like it.
D, deflected, hit the post, if not the crossbar. That close to finding a winner. I think it was Flyer Coogan who had gotten a piece of it. The defense work there from HAVU. We've seen them be more willing to just throw those pucks on, those D one-timers. Great pass there, got through the traffic. But HAVU able to regain possession here. So close to winning it just a few brief moments ago. Here's Dominoiti. Flyer Coogan's in front. Couldn't get a piece of it. That was a great look. And that pass into a high danger area. Weagleson not able to get that one through. Flyer Coogan, Dominoiti looking. Surveys, big stop there by Fincona on Weagleson. They score! It's Dominoiti in front! The hat trick to win it. HAVU survives and wins 4-3 in overtime after nearly blowing it in regulation. What a win for them, Sin. What a game to cap off our opening broadcast of the season. Goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, that was, I believe, Flyer Coogan getting the primary assist right there, just sending it towards the front of the net from the corner right there. I don't believe he was rewarded with a goal throughout these two games, but no, he actually got that one where he picked the corner. I do apologize, but his assists have just been next level. I think almost all of them were primary. There might be a few secondary in there, but his passing is just next level. And it set up 2 huge goals right there. It set up the game-tying goal, and it sets up the game-winning goal. That's what a good captain does. Leads by examples, gets big points when it matters the most. HAVU taking that game and kind of avoiding what could be construed as a bit of a catastrophic start to their season had they dropped both of these games. But GOONS in a pretty position, taking 3 out of 4 points against a team like HAVU. Statement opening for them, in the start of this winter season here in ECL Elite.
Absolutely ridiculous game and a ridiculous series there. Anything but predictable, really, through our first 2 matchups of the day. But for this in particular, and again, we called the Granite FBK regular season series a potential playoff series preview. I think as well, HAVU and GOONS may not have seen the last of one another for this particular season. What an unbelievable set of games that was. Now, Sin will briefly touch up upon 2 teams, and again, very similar to Granite and FBK. You look at HAVU. Oh, is Villikun going to be a little bit rusty heading back into the elite action after sitting out last year? No, he was great. And at the same time, Weagleson fit in incredibly well on that left-hand side, and we'll see if indeed maybe he is that perfect fit to get HAVU back to where they want to be. And on the flip side for Goons, Pico Roger, Leitinen, Kriketzi. I ponder just how high up the goal scoring and the point charts that trio is going to be by the end of this season with that creativity. That took some staunch defense and some good goaltending from Havu to keep them from scoring more than 3 goals, and they still scored 3 goals in each of the 2 games they played against one of the best defensive teams in the
Yeah.
world in Havu. Incredible stuff. Great performance, I think, for both teams. In again, their first game of the season.
Yeah, and their rush plays. That's where Goons really just looked the scariest. They seemingly made these great odd man opportunities, partial breakaways out of seemingly nothing. These saucer passes from the boards or lightning off the boards, making a spin move and throwing it towards the middle, and finding his a forward there with an extra step on a defenseman, getting an in tight chance, and then they capitalize off it. And it was just again very, very kind of scary to see a team is like Goons being able to do that to the fabled defense of Havu. And that being said, I really like the adjustments that Havu has seemingly been able to make. They didn't just stick to a similar system. They kept throwing different looks. All right, this isn't working. We're not going to keep trying it. Here, we'll try something else. If it's there, yeah, we'll go back to that. We saw that down low cycle happen, and we saw Flyer Coogan being an absolute menace on the forecheck. But other times, they just kind of threw the puck on net, threw the puck towards the middle, and hope for the best. And that's kind of what got him that game winner. Flyer Coogan, kind of a blind pass from the corner boards through the legs, finds Dominointi. Game, set, match. They're able to get that second one in OT.
So again, we'll mention this twice before a potential mass exodus, of course, now that the action is over for today. Make sure to come back tomorrow, again, 1945 CET for some Pro Division action. Again, our second tier, as we have 4 teams who are going to be looking to earn their way to Elite throughout this season. It is Dynastia against Boomers, Penta v Deadly Phantoms. Again, King Lime of Anaheim Ducks gaming fame on the call, alongside graphic designer extraordinaire, one Mr. Timo, of course, at the Baker and Timo show, of course. So again, make sure to check out that broadcast. And of course, Sin and I will be back this Wednesday and Thursday for more Elite action. But before we wrap up this, of course, we want to take a look at the latest results first, and then we'll get you an updated look at the standings. And of course, NHLGamer.com will have all the information that you need for all of our divisions, so make sure to check that out as games continue to be factored in. But Sim, we get a look there. H-Reds, our defending champions, pull off the double. Close second game, though, against Conquer Gaming. And of course, Gordon Hockey got the split with YMCA. That was the team that our captain's poll projected to have finishing 16th in Gordon, but beating a team like YMCA, who made the playoffs last year and have playoff aspirations, is a really good way to start their season.
Yeah, absolutely. And the game that YMCA won was an OT. So Djurgården getting that extra point as well is just absolutely huge. We see ZSC Esports against Roots Gaming getting the split as well. But once again, Roots picking up that extra point. These extra points are going to be so massive as this season wears on. And we'll see how the rest of it shapes up as we will, I believe, take a look at the standings next.
Absolutely. And again, you saw there too, Orebro, 2 games over HU 71. So we'll look at the live standings as things have been reported so far. Of course, the HAVU and Goon side of things, that second game yet to be reported. Again, NHLGamer.com will have the fully updated standings as things are put into our system there. But again, a great start to the season for some of our sponsored clubs. How do you like that? Again, that left-hand side of the bracket where you want to be. Top 8 make the playoffs. But again, it is a 30-game regular season. We have a long way to go here in the winter leg of this 2-leg race, of course. We have our secondary season, and we'll crown our first grand champion this season as well for the combined season. Again, championship there. Sin, it is incredible to be back. What a way to start off this season, and Wednesday already seems very, very far away.
Yeah, it absolutely does. But we got some pro action to kind of tide us over and satisfy our hunger for NHL esports until then. So very excited to tune into that as well. But yeah, you said it. I can't wait to get back in the booth on Wednesday.
Absolutely. So again, a big shout out one more time to our sponsors in XBill, Wilhelm, Colon Lackertzy, and ST Hockey. Of course, one more time, exclamation point survey in chat. Your opportunity to win a PS5 just by sharing your thoughts and opinions on what we do here at NHL Gamer. So make sure to do that. Of course, a big shout out to Sin, nobody I'd rather work with here, back in the booth for this season. You can check him out basically everywhere at Sin for the Win Productions, or Prod, of course, on Twitter. Of course, I am everywhere at Tugi24, including right here on Twitch, of course. A big shout out to those behind the scenes who helped make this what it is, and of course, we are so excited to be back. It's a sprint as opposed to a marathon this year with a much more condensed schedule, but it is going to be so worth it over the next month and a half to 2 months as we look to crown a winner here in the winter portion of our ECL 22 season. Thank you again very much for watching. Again, we hope to see you here tomorrow for that Pro Division broadcast, and again, Sin and I will see you on Wednesday for more Elite action. For now, take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your day, evening, and or night. Get some sleep for those of you that are local, of course, on the European side of things. And we will see you all again very soon. Thank you for watching.